what we've got here is to actually have ourselves a 4 versus 4 ladder game. And it's going to go down on a map known as Adaptive Meridia. Now, if you haven't seen Adaptive Meridia before, it looks like this. Although quite often there's actually some extra players. There's another spawn spot here for somebody. I think you might also see somebody else spawn over here. I think the full version has like 6 or 7 players each side. That's fine, we've got 4 versus 4 and ladder game, so everybody's down to the little individual numbers on the other things. So let us do our sorting on the stats over here. Alright, here we go. 20 by 20 map, lots of water, so we're going to see some good naval battles. Let's have an introduction of the players. First off, team 1 is in the reds, team 2 is in the blue. First off, for team number 1 in the middle section down here as Aeon, it is Zamoka. Zamoka's got his first land factory there, not doing any adjacency. Looks like he wants to plan on the late eco instead of the early build assist. Get down his mixes and away he goes. Up from him in the red colour, UEF player, it is Exterminator Hun. Okay, I mean, I guess, is he exterminating Huns? That's fine. Is he not? Is he being an exterminator Hun? From what I heard, they were bad in World War II. He's red, he's UEF, let's see how he gets on. And the final third player, sorry, the final 2 players are actually on the same island for each team. This person over here we have in the burgundy, it is Frozen Bite. He's Aeon, he's got his mixes down, starting work on the hydro. And the final player for team number 2 down here, another UEF player, it is Voodoo. Voodoo is in the orange colour. So we've got 2 Aeon, 2 UEF for team number 1. Let's see how that composition gets on for them. We have an introduction to team number 2. First off, team number 2 down here, it is a Terminator. I think I've seen this guy before because I remember the missing T. He's Cyan, he's Cybran, he's being silly with that name. Second player for team number 2 down here in the light blue colour, UEF player, it is Yerfmeister. He's going to Yerf it around the place, got himself an air factory with a bit of double adjacency there just to reduce the cost out of that. Third player for team number 2 down here, bottom right corner, deep blue, UEF is Chisix. Chisix is there, he's looking at putting up his second air factory based off what power? So you must be stalling. You've got like one hydro. Yeah, you're stalling absolutely hard putting up that second air factory. It does cost 2400 energy. Gonna need to get some reclaim going on. Instead, he's carving a path through the trees, breaking up those clumps instead of reclaiming them, and he's gonna store power any second now. There we go. Have fun with that. Which is the last player for team number 2 in the lavender colour. It is Burning Firefly. Is it going to burn brightly? Is it going to burn poorly? Either way, he's finished up his first T1 air factory. He's got a land factory there as well. Some adjacency going on. Going for a wander with his comm through the water. It looks like he's just going to go grab this island. Why not? Just go for a snooze. Quickly, in the middle though, we have a T1 bomber harassment coming out from Terminator. Going for some engineers belong to Sam Zocker. He's going to be very unhappy about that, but that is 2 kills for that guy. First kills of the game. And he's looking to pick it up a third engineer over here, which is going to not have a great time. 3 engineer kills that bomber. That is going to be a good little disruption. That's going to take Sam a bit of time to recover because those NGs were moving out towards these Massics in this direction all the way around the edges, so he's now just a little behind in the opening section, which will be problematic. Maybe wants to think about popping out some anti-air out of these. No, still just popping out the NGs. And looks like he's got, no, the bomber has spotted these NGs down here. Down they go. Really should throw down a, honestly, T1 AA would have been the first thing I popped out of that. I wouldn't care if I'd have to move it around. If you can get it out, it would be defensive. And there we go, there's some AA coming out of this thing, but it's a bit late. This bomber is having a grand old time. 7 kills, 7 engineers dead by this guy. That is putting a big delay on Sam's opening gambits. And he's got to try and react. He's trying to get that thistle out. One from there, engineers from there. Get the engineer helping out, but it's going to be a little bit late. That bomber swings back for another run. Some very damaged PGs. They might pop. Could even lose the upgrading mass extractor if he does, but he really trying to get that out. Out comes some tier 1 AA. It's going to be a little bit too late though. Those PGs are going on down. And this tier 1 bomber now has 9 kills to his name. 3. Oh, and now there's a jester, just from worse to nasty from Terminator. He is just denying. Oh, don't lose that mass extractor. That would be horrible. We focused on that. All that income put into that to try and upgrade it would be lost, but the bomb decides to swing away to a different direction. Might get caught now. supporting Inti coming from Voodoo. There's a couple of T1 AA down on the streets now. Okay, let's go for the Jester first. Why not? But that bomber has decided to go somewhere else. And looking over here, is that a drop? That must have been a drop. Those engineers are there far too quickly for it to be walkies. There's the transport over there though. Drops down, engineers are slapped down some land factories, doing some harassment over there. They're going to strip these engineers, but the commander's coming up from Voodoo. You should be able to prevent that. Where was that bomber? Is it retired? No, it's still loitering around. It's just sitting there though. It has been picked up by an interceptor. That's going to be the end of that thing's life. Still though, the early harassment and the deny just put Sam Zucker on the back foot. You can see what's happened to him in the eco. He's still down at 15. His opponent is up into 25. Everybody else is in the 20s. Just him stuck down in the single teens section. Right, engineers trying to step up a counter land factory there. So these guys are still doing their thing on that. But the commander, he said, yeah, I'm just going to come down this way and I'm going to prevent all this. And that is Yerfmeister controlling his factory. He's going to get the reclaim out of those while he can, because he knows he cannot compete with a commander that's coming up and doing the jiggy dance thing, trying to build the mass extractor. But nonetheless, must leave these here while he can get as much mass out of that. But there we go. So knowing he can't stand against a commander, Control Case gets the mass back while he can. Frozen Bite. Get an eject please. I suspect that there is a connection issue and Frozen Bite is about to pop. At least he started T3. 6 minutes into the game he started for T3 air. We're going to have a quick check down the other side of the map. Do we have a corresponding tech shift? Well, no we don't actually. He was rushing T3 air. This is all T1 down this direction. Well, that could be interesting. But nonetheless, now an issue. We have a single tank coming up over here, going to try... Okay, 4 kills that guy, kills off all of those little labs. And the island now belongs to Voodoo. So Frozen Bite, I'm guessing his connection dropped unfortunately. He didn't actually die from anything, just disappeared. But the upgrade continues on the way towards a T3 air factory, and it's good to go to Voodoo, who has the eco to handle it. He's got his own T1 factory here, but he's now starting to pop out some extra power. He's going to need it, throwing some build power up this way. Get that out, get some T3 energies, and he's going to be into the T3 air game pretty darn quickly. Up in this direction, been kind of quiet over here. Haven't heard much from... I don't know. Nice little weather effect there. Got some fog rolling up over the hills. Clouds moving around. That's actually pretty neat. Don't know if I've actually seen that before. Alright, T2 upgrade on the way for Exterminator though. He wants to get into the T2 Navy game. He's going to need to get into it pretty damn quickly because there is a frigate coming who has a defending Tiger Shark, so that frigate's going to have nothing to stop go up against that. It's going to take him a while to kill it of course, but by that stage it could have killed a bunch of engineers. Radio back in this direction we can see that Sam Zocket is still trying to just grab his original island. He still hasn't finished the last 2 mixes. That's exactly how far behind it is taken, and they drop the Terminator. Oh dear. He is just doing that surprise harassment. He's got T2 mixes in his base. Compare that to his direct opponent. He's also got some T2 mix back there, so he's done the upgrade. But here comes a drop. No, it's not going where I thought it was. I thought maybe it was going over this way, but instead it seems to be planning to go in a completely different direction. It is a combat drop, of course. There's a bunch of Mantis on there and an engineer. That's just hovering. There we go. It's on the move order has been given, and away it goes. Is it planning to come over here and be really irritating? And I mean really irritating for Terminator. Instead, he sent through the interceptors first, and those are being nice and distracting for these other inties. The drop is going to make it to the ground. Those Mantis are going to say good day to a poor hapless engineer that is just living his own life, not being hostile at all. The Mantis say you die. Right, so now we have that, and this engineer is going to give Terminator a foothold on this island, and that is going to be an issue. But we have a counter from Sam Zocker. Zamoka? I've been saying that wrong. Anyway, we have a counter for that. He's got himself a tac launcher. The question is, how much can it hit? Because there are some hills in the way. Not sure if it's going to be able to clear over the other side. Maybe hit some of these ones further back. That would be an ideal situation to do, but these Mantis are on the way, and he's got his commander moving in the right direction. He's got guns, he's got T2, so these Mantis won't get too much more done. But factory going down here for a Terminator, he's really pushing that harassment side of things. This direction we see the T2 Navy HQ is completed, but all the build power has died. That was on account of that frigate doing frigatey things, so we're going to need to get some more engines out here. Throwing some T2 engines back that direction. I hear a commander shooting. Oh yeah, what am I talking about? This guy. Maybe this guy coming back to rebuild his shit. Alright, getting some extra assist on that. There we go, 1, 2 missiles loaded. Nothing launching just yet. Wants to try and do tac surprise, of course. If you get the missiles loaded, you can fire a whole bunch off at the same time. And that will kill things off before your opponent gets a chance to react. The question is, what kind of distance does I have? Well, he hasn't scouted over here, but he could kill 1, 2, 3 mixers if those hills aren't in the way, which I think they would actually clear those just in range of these 3. So if Sam gets a scout over, in fact there goes a scout now, he could probably find those and decide they would be well worth killing. From a attack launch perspective, he's got 3 missiles, there's 3 T2 mixers. That would be a very apt revenge to kill off a bunch of Terminators eco. And here comes launching now. Is he going for what I think he is? He is. There we go, 1, 2, 3 T2 mixers under threat, 4th one over there and a 5th one there. So that is some reasonable revenge from Zam Ocker. And we will see how quickly. There's already missiles on flight though. And that is not going to stop the attacks. Indeed, they do swing just past that mountain. Bam goes one. And comes another missile. Saw it somewhere. There we go. Winding its way over the mountain. Is going to clear it. Absolutely just. It's going to hit the... Nope, not going to hit the factory. Going to BAF number 2. And this is Sam basically saying, screw you, buddy. You kill my early eco, I kill your eco now. Missed! Oh my word, this tac missed. Look at the impact zone, right there. Oh, that's going to be an irritation. Thought he had it, but it is not indeed. But that is still 4 T2 mixes down. Have a look what's done to Terminator's eco. He's down into the 20s. Now he's well behind there. And more missiles being launched. Maybe an idea would be to go for this, but a TMD has been slapped down straight away from Terminator over there. Wants to keep that HQ alive, needs to keep that HQ alive. And that missile is going to not make it. A couple of shots from the Zapper and job is done. Okay. Good little response from Sam there, but he's not anywhere near to being in the Navy. His opponent is, and his opponent might be working on T2. Nope, just T1 spam for the moment. Quick check on the rest of the map and let's see how things are going. Well, got a bunch of Navy down here, got some air going. That is a torpedo bomber. So Voodoo wanting to put some pressure on via the only way he can at this stage. Get some air out, going to kill off some of that Navy and maybe push into it later on. Okay, over in the back row, what do we got? We have T3 Air is finally up for Jizza. He's there at the 11-minute mark, popping out a scout. His teammate just nearby is still rocking the T1. Must be going for Navy. There we go, T2 Navy, yes indeedy. Up front, Terminator, he does have the T2 HQ, but he's not building anything out of it just for the moment. Looks like he's going to grab another couple of stabbers, perhaps. Doesn't want to lose his mixes again. Over this direction, and there we go. Sam said, get off my island, you piece of shit. And it's starting to throw down some T2 PD. That's going to be very handy. Going to pop out some blazes, have arrived to support as well. And that's going to be all she wrote for these factories here. They're not even building anything. Not even bother trying to control Kaden because the engineers did. But here comes the drop. That is where Yerf is looking. The drop is on the way. 1, 2 very full T1 transports full of arty. If they land on this island, they can do some damage, but out comes an ASF, and that's all she wrote. One ASF says, yeah, nah, no drop for you, except for a drop from height to your doom. So well caught there. The pings were solid. The response was good, and that is the end of that. But hello, we have a strap bomber out from Mr. Voodoo. That is well ahead of the game. Going to pop his payload down upon this particular position. And that is one DT2 mix over there. It's going to carry on. I suspect he'll go for some eco around the back. Indeed, a scout has flown around and identified some potential targets. There should be an ASF coming off the production line here for Chiz though. And there is indeed a lot of assistance on that to try and get it out. Exterminator though, while that's going on, he's been hollering for help and he's got some issues. He has T1 spam in his face. He does have a single destroyer there trying to get things on, but there's a counter destroyer there from Burning Firefly. He has got some issues, and those issues are going to be the fact his destroyer is just about dead. This one is very, very fresh and his command's to the water. Not good. Have a quick check back down here on this strap bomber, how many kills? It has 5 kills to its name. Add another few there, so 11 kills, because off that mix with a bunch of NGs. Wants to keep going in a straight line, although there is now an ASF in the air, so that strap bomber is not going to get much more done. Maybe he could kill another T2 mix over here. Be a while for that ASF catches up. Perhaps Exterminator is going to help again. We see in the chat there. Is he going to get that final bomb away? Yes, there's one more bomb, so one more T2 mix. And some defending ASFs behind that, but have a quick check up here. This is a big old problem for Exterminator. He is out of the Navy game. He's lost his T2 HQ. He's got a single destroyer trying to get things done, but is running out of health pretty damn quickly. And now he has 2 destroyers coming in for him in his base. He wants to think about getting his commander out of that water. Going to reclaim the factory, try and get some mass in there, because why not? He's looking like he's trying to get another factory back here to be distracting the destroyers, trying to run away, but he's going to get caught by some frigates. It's been just absolutely picked on for the destroyer. Right down here though, we now have the off-range bombardment. The T2PD down here is trying to do its thing, but of course the Aeon destroyers, they are very, very good at range bombardment. Question is, what can Exterminator do from here? And he says nothing. He's thrown out the GG. He's going to move his commander up and maybe look at doing some reclaim. He does have, no, he doesn't have T2 in there. He's got a single rover, but these things just move away, and now is his opportunity to maybe get back up to the top and get out of harm's way. But he's really in a bad situation, and he is running a health. Those torpedoes on those Exodus class, actually depth charges, not even torpedoes, just depth charges. He is very fast, running at a health, doing a lot of damage, and as soon as he breaches the water and goes onto land, it's going to be just as bad, because they're going to be sitting there bombarding him like this. Trying to twist and dodge, but he can't dodge torpedoes. This is going to be Exterminator out of the game. 15-minute mark. Good night, Irene. No idea why I said that. I'm not Aussie. But there we go, that's Exterminator. He is donezo. Now, being a lad again, will be full shear, so we should see this all pop over to Voodoo in a second, one would imagine. He is the highest rated player. He should be picking it up. There we go. So Voodoo now has some extra eco to deal with, and actually Voodoo himself is not looking too good. His commander is in the water here. He's got some T1 Navy, does have T2 as well, but he's pulling his own Navy back. He's already got some T2 in the water, a couple of destroyers over there. It's going to be needed to try and keep this naval factory alive is what he's trying to do, but it's probably not going to work, because there's a sizable force coming his way. Support is coming over there from Zamoka, sending his hover up to try and help rout those frigate issues, but this factory is not going to survive. There's simply too many frigates around to do things. Of course, the destroyers are going to help clean up the numbers, but he might as well start working on a different T2 HQ somewhere else, because that is down, that is out. There's Voodoo out of the T2 Navy stage, and there's also this Navy down here, which isn't even being used by the Earthmeister. Might be a mistake. Perhaps the coordinated attack could have done better, but as it stands, still no T2 Navy for Voodoo. Alright, have a quick check on the rest of how things are going, and this is actually Sam Walker with his commander. He's decided, screw you guys, I'm going Rambo. Not even Rambo, he's got T2 on there, so he's actually going to be cheeky, I think. Get into the water and start building out of it, perhaps. Wonders what his plan is, but he's definitely doing it. Back up in this direction, have a quick look, and Voodoo, he does have that destroyer alive, of course, which is going to be incredibly useful for keeping his bay clear. And now comes the push in from the Earthmeister. This is the push that is too late. If we had the subs and the extra frigates in there, they might have actually been able to pick off Voodoo a little bit earlier, but it's not going to work now. There's 2 destroyers are still around. There's plenty of torpedo bombers as well, and he can soak up a lot of damage there. He could soak up a lot of damage, can Voodoo. He could also walk out of the water, do some overcharges, but as it stands, he'll be fine. Frigates are not a match for torpedo bombers or a commander with overcharge. No dramas over this direction. We see these 2 destroyers have been trying to do what they can up here, trying to lob their shots up. I'm hearing the gunfire of an Aeon commander. There we go. This is Zamoka. He's doing exactly what suspected. He just slapped down a point defense, put his commander there. He's got T2 and gun, so that is the gun speed upgrade, along with a T2 production suite, and this is going to be something somewhat difficult. Never mind, there's a big swarm of mantis, so I don't know if Terminator was waiting for that, but either way, he's got a swarm of mantis coming towards Poor old Zamoka, and he's going to need to think about departing. Does he see them coming? No, he doesn't. He just coincidentally decides, you know what? I think I've overstepped my welcome. It's time to go. And not a moment too soon. Here's all the hover though. The blazes down here. They're having to go a couple of frigates. Those frigates do not match up. But still, most of the actions on the left-hand side. Torpedo bombers are galore over here. They're getting cleaned up by a handful of ASF belonging to Jizza. And those things are just simply, well, they can't fight back. They're basically anti-navy. So, you know, they just die. Might get some bombs way onto this Exodus class destroyer though. Nope, they just fly on by without dropping a damn thing except their own corpses. Right, ASFs are picking up. ASFs down this way, they're looking to try and do something, although there's just a handful of units. They're all T1. There's a single destroyer romping on down. It's going to have a grand time of its life. It's being supported by the blazes down there from Zam. That is going to be incredibly handy indeed. They can wipe out those destroyers. Frigates, they can come in and do some decent damage to the destroyer as well. Check how that is going over this direction, and somebody is, looks like he's been pegged back again, losing all his mass extractors. These are all T1 for Terminator, so he's been absolutely picked on. He's been trying to rebuild everything. That tech launcher got extra done. Well, it's got 6 kills now, 6,000 mass. So yes, what I said, yes, it came through and did exactly that. Killed off a whole lot more mass extractors. Poor old Terminator, he's coming up this way. There's an ASF that's going to find itself in a terrible position if it decides to stay landing there, which it kind of does. I guess Overcharge is going to be dead, but nope, it launches. But we see here, Zamoka is very much out of the way. Alright, have a check on the other side of the map. These guys have not been doing much. We see there's a mass extractor upgrade going on the, I want to say the quick way, but that's not ideal, I don't think. If I'll try to remember the numbers, somebody crunched them. If you control K a T2 max and you can turn it into a T3 max within, I think the number was about maybe 60 seconds, 80 seconds or something like that, then it's actually more economical. But you have to have the mass to be able to do it and the build power. If it takes longer than that to control K and rebuild as a T3, then you've wasted your time. And you might as well have just upgraded it in place with the T2 extractor in place. So only do the control K. So you control K the T2 max, it turns into reclaim, about 700 odd. Then you get a T3 engineer to slap a T3 mix on and get a bunch of guys to help. So there we go. Here's the example, 720 mass there, but he's now got, if that's not a built T3 mix by the 22-minute mark, well, then he's lost out. Then it has taken him longer, but less efficient than if he'd left it and upgraded it to T3 in place. So yes, the fact that he's not rebuilding it right away might be definitely counting against him. Definitely counting against him there. I was having a look, going to check up this window. Do have a T3 air upgrade coming through for Burning Firefly. He is 70% of the way through that. Still hasn't even started that, so this is inefficient. Only control K the mix when you are ready to actually rebuild it. So he's been missing out on 50 seconds so far. You control K to the 20 minutes and 30 seconds. And he's just starting to get that now. So, yeah, that has not been efficient enough. Not by a long shot. It's going to take a while to rebuild at this rate, so nope, don't do it that way. Yes, the control K of the T2 mix and rebuild as a T3 works, but only if you can do it right away. Right, over this direction, Voodoo has been nice. He's given some extra build power and eco to Sam, but whether or not that's actually a useful thing, I don't know, because there is the offshore bombardment happening from these guys. And he's just losing the mixes there, although he has got the engineers romping around and they are reclaiming the eco, because why not? He can put it into a more defensible position over here. Lots of mountains around the way. Kind of hard for Navy to get into that. These nice defensive cliffs in the face, but checking back over the left hand side, and hello, a large group of units here. Got a few destroyers, got a couple of cruisers in there. Those nice annoying long-range attack missiles are going to do things like this. Miss a mobile unit, but there we go. The units are still just a little bit too long. Now they are done for. But we have T3 Navy out for Voodoo. This is a battlecruiser. It's going to come along and disperse a whole bunch of these units at a nice range. It's got TMD aboard as well, so it can shoot some of those missiles out of the way. Maybe not quite enough. These things are going to fling on past. What are they going for? They're going for... Oh, that poor interceptor. How rude. But the battlecruiser needs to not sit still. But sit still is going to take a whole swath of cruiser T attack missile fire. It does have TMD, but not enough to stop more than one. So keeping mobile is going to be key to keeping it alive. What do we got back here? We have one T3 air factory. 2, 3, nice little air group being set up there by Voodoo. He wants to get that up and running and be good with it. And of course we do have the T3 Navy as well, so looking good on that plan. Over this direction, got some hover coming over to assist, not sure where. I'm hearing, well, whilst the Navy, this is Burning Firefly. He's rocking up with his forces looking to move through this direction. Not much on the water stops him. We do have the hover of course, but to be honest, hover is not much of a match for solid Navy. I hear Strat Bomber, there we go, I see Strat Bomber. And this been initially flying around. It's got itself 16 kills. And what else has it killed? It's got knock this off. It's not. That looks like it used to be T3 probably. Gonna kill a bunch of engineers. Gonna kill a factory. Nope. Just gonna move away. 16 kills nonetheless. That has been incredibly effective at this time. It's gonna keep on spinning around. You really need to get some tech on that island there, Mr. Sam. Get some tech. Get some T3. He is going for T3. Then you can get a Sam, and that Revenant now has 17 kills. It's not been very good for Sam. Right. Oh, it's a lot of engineers. And a lot of reclaim. Kill the engineers, kill the reclaim. Good times. Back on the left hand side, you can see here the Navy is staying mobile from Yerfmeister. Has to. There's 2 battlecruisers now in front of them. Not going to be good for their health. Okay, there's a whole swath of torpedo bombs up there for Voodoo as well. They can look at trying to defend this right hand flank as they do, as they'll need to, because that is going on. This Strat Bomb is just going to keep flying around. It's going to keep dropping this bomb until something gets done. Zam only has T2 on his commander, trying to get T3 by the look of it. T3 is cancelled. He realizes that maybe he's not going to get some ASF help from Voodoo. Voodoo is attention is likely elsewhere. But nonetheless, he has to cancel that T3 upgrade that was so close to being done. I'm sure that bar was just about full. I thought he actually finished it. But no, he had to turn around and get out of dodge because that Strat Bomb was going to come around for more passes. And that is a lot of eco lost there. Got up a couple of swift wins. They might be enough to chase the Strat Bomb down if it wasn't for the ASF in the way. ASF moving though, here we go. They are looking to have themselves a wee bit of a rumble. Plenty more ASF in the sky that belong to Voodoo compared to Terminator, but he's not even actually the primary air player. It should be Chiselback here, who now has a nice little air grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 T3 air factories rocking on up. They can start spitting out a lot of ASFs. In fact, the ASFs are all over here. Navy from Burning Firefly moves right into the middle of all the hover. You can see it does take them a while to mow them down. The torpedo bombers there from Voodoo help a huge amount. But over on the left hand side we can see these battlecruisers are getting absolutely hammered. The destroyers are focusing them down, about to lose one of them. There we go, one battlecruiser down, but the T2 Navy has been routed by these guys. There's not much left of the destroyers. And the hover plus the torpedo bombers are doing a number on these destroyers down here. They won't be too long for this particular world. Right, air. Looks like air has been handled by Voodoo. I saw ASFs in there from both Terminator and Chiselback, but they are no more. Lasting lift climbs away. Now this is going to last very long against all of this. And this will be the end of that little T2 Navy. A few assault tanks left. They won't be surviving much longer sitting at frigate range. Alright, destroyers trying to do their thing around here, but like mentioned before, there is a solid wall of cliffs and mountains protecting this little base. They will be good down here. Upgrade is on the way again with Zamoka. He's regened back into the green. He is going to be fine. Alright, checking out the back here, and of course we do have the T3 air. Nothing special going on yet. 27 minutes into the game. I'm looking for some kind of game ender. That's a lot of build power for Jizza. A lot of build power. Look at all these little drones, they're doing their thing. So, more air grid going up here. We have an SMD for defense. Looking fine on that front. There's this burning fireflies come down there. No upgrades, just building a factory. Back on this island, and engineers have kind of stopped. Looks like he's going to grab some tech and do some more riptides out of this. Perhaps he wants to think about rebuilding these mass extractors. The commands are there actually, I see them. So somebody's rebuilding those mass extractors. Good, couldn't need that eco. Checking out left hand side, and well, the battlecruisers are having a well of a time. Except for the fact they're getting overwhelmed by torpedoes belonging to Tiger Sharks. But that's fine, just going to kill off this naval factory down here. No more production for you. That battlecruiser is going to shrug off a lot of those. It has its own torpedoes, so it will be able to kill off a bunch of those little Tiger Sharks. Some torpedo defense as well. It's going to take those Tiger Sharks a long time to get through that battlecruiser's health, and in the meantime it's going to obliterate everything above. Torpedo bombers are flying around, but they're not actually attacking. I must be imagining that. Oh no, there we go. Torps are in the water. The subs are gone. Is it time to push? Is the question. One battlecruiser, a bunch of frigates, a bunch of torpedo bombers. I wonder if he could actually get in here and deny this. There's a battlecruiser being built over here though. The Meister has got himself into the T3 Navy game. Might have the advantage there for the moment. Alright, T3 Air very much underway. Very much in play. For Terminator, he is working on some of his own items. He's getting a mass fab to reduce the cost. Getting a mass fab for making your mixes T3. Yes, no, I mean he's popping it there, so it's going to have adjacency to the air factory. This air factory will actually use less mass to build things, but nonetheless, he's still got some T1 mass extractors. Better to get them to T2. Alright, torpedo bomber swarm up here. There's a single cruiser which is no more. Oh sorry, I take it back, 2 cruisers, but this one's going to enjoy a bunch of torpedoes right up the stern, and it is going to die as well. That leaves all these naval units just free for torpedo bomber destruction, because they are Aeon. Their frigates don't have any anti-air. They are basically specialist units. Aeon are quite specialized with the units, so their frigates have no anti-air, the destroyers have no anti-air, and these torpedo bombers are going to have a ramping great time in this direction. We see this battlecruiser is trying to do its thing. It has got a rank of veterancy, but now has an opposing battlecruiser to deal with, also under shields. Torpedo bomber walks on in from Jizza, just a sole torpedo bomber, but one's better than none, and well, there's some destroyer backup, but that shield is going to be a sizable difference, and the frigates are getting picked off by this guy. Going to be time for this battlecruiser to maybe think about retreating, although some support is coming in the form of a second one. Just staying there for the moment is probably not the best idea. Right, checking up this way, I thought there was an air fight. I saw the ASS moving on over, but no, there's been a rout already. There's no more units left, so hey, why not? Cheeky little factories down here from Burning Firefly. Looks like he wants to have a go at this particular island. There is a radar. Do they know it's there? Well, I think they should know it's there because it's on the radar. Hasn't been scouted. But they're definitely there. Be time. Looks like it'd be time to move these up though. Get rid of those. So, not sure how effective those factories are going to be when there's T2 land already. Looking out in this direction. Speaking of T2, all sorts of tech. Well, there's factories, but they are idle. What is the go? What is Zamok working on with all this idle engineers, idle factories? He's working on something. Is it all here? Is he just spitting out riptides? Lots and lots of riptides. Is he getting back into the Navy game somewhere? I don't see it. I just see a lot of reclaim and a lot of work going on. Okay. In this direction, it is a full-on Navy air battle. We see Voodoo is handling both for team number 1. He's got a couple of battle cruisers, he's got a destroyer. He looks like he has taken out the battle cruiser belonging to, yes indeed, I don't see it on the map at all. Do I see the wreck? I see the wreck. So, Meister has lost his battle cruiser. He's about to lose his T3 Navy as well. The torpedo bombers are over here doing their thing as, again, blast. Voodoo loses his own battlecruiser, and now there's a massive air fight going on. This is Voodoo versus Chizza in the air. Gets a reasonable run against the ASFs belonging to Voodoo. Big turn there. Loses a whole handful for virtually no response on that front. There we go, the ASFs are trying to prioritise those torpedo bombers because the battlecruiser just can't take care of them. But out of the Navy is Yerfmeister. His production down here, that's a T3 HQ. Of course, you don't want to lose that T3 HQ, but he has lost that T3 HQ. And now this is problematic. In fact, that's the Yerfmeister out entirely. He has handed everything over to Chizza. Look at this, the whole units have just been handed over, given the eco over to him. Might as well, he thinks, I'm out of that. Give Chizza some extra eco while he can to try and use it, even though he's got nothing left. But over here we see it is Yerfmeister underwater and non-upgrader commander. He's just going for a walk. Just going for a walk. It's fine, doesn't need to worry about it. Cruiser is out there for Voodoo, wants to get away from these subs because they will hurt it with no response. But no, yeah, so that all went dark blue, so that is actually Yerfmeister deciding he has had enough. But up in the top section we see a counter push coming up here. This is Burning Firefly. He's now got some flak and shields to go with this Navy. This is very nasty for torpedo bombers. These guys just rock on in and they just protect that and blap things out of the sky. I hear... thought I heard... cruiser, no, a turret. I heard the turret. There it is. Lobbing away with its very, very irritating TAC missiles, and they just fly for distance. All the distance. But... oh, hello, nuke. So that's what Zamok was working on. I think he was just building up his eco, letting it get in the way, and he's got to step up a nuke, but now he's got a separate issue, and that would be turret missiles. Which he really, really needs to get under control before he loses his HQ, and up come the volcanoes. Quick switch over to there, and he is spamming out Solaces. And why not? A Solace is a great deterrent for a torrent. In fact, we'll kill it quite happily, and it will take a while for Flak to take a Solace down. It's the T3 torpedo bomber. Lots of damage placed on that. Governor here is trying to find his way through a horde of torpedo bombers. Not going to get that done. Just going to get popped out. Battleship coming over here from Voodoo. Single cruiser back here. It's going to get some kills though. Those bombers are looking at the wrong things. They're going for the frigates. The cruiser is having a grand old time knocking those out of the sky. And of course the battleship is a threat that is on the way, which needs to be taken care of. But in this direction we see the turret is doing turret things. It is trying to knock off as much as it can, but there's a whole host of volcano tech defense being put in the way, and that will probably help deter it from doing much else. Got a few Solaces already ready to go. They could actually swim up and take care of the turret like they're doing exactly now. 1, 2, 3, and look at what they do. 15,000 health in that thing. Just get a few to roll on past, lose a couple of drops out of that. One pass from 3 of those and it is lost 4,000 health. Maybe a few more runs. It looks like an ASF do pop out and a couple of whalers to do some things, but that turret is going to have a bad time. More Solaces turn up, another one pass, another 2 passes, another pass, and that is going to be all she wrote. That's the end of the turret. Solaces are very, very nasty against Navy. But now they need to back off. There's lots of SAMs around, which will actually decimate the ASFs belonging to Chizza if they loiter in this area. Oh dear. Not a good place to be, not a good place to airfight. And Yerfmeister starting teleporter. Teleporter? Oh, he's UEF, why not? Might as well try and go somewhere. He's got nothing left to his name. He's going to be living off the... oh, hello. Going to be living off overflow course, but this is a problem up the back. The T3 HQ has been munded, so that means no more T3 air for a while for Voodoo. And indeed now these things are actually right in the bay and they're lobbing their shells just over the lip of that crater. Going to be destroying some T3 pigeons. That's going to go pop, and it's not going to be very good for Voodoo. Down goes, boom, boom, boom. Takes out 2 T3 factories and an additional T3 pigeon, and another one that was heavily damaged. This one, which was being under production. That is a very horrible amount of stuff to lose there for Voodoo. He has a single T3 pigeon left, which isn't going to last too much longer with this guy having a go at it. That's a lot of eco damage to Voodoo's base. And I mean a lot. Which is what's got left trying to rebuild a T3 PG. Now he's will be living off overflow from his teammate actually. I think he will be, yes indeed. And who is currently working on that nuke launcher. The question is, the nuke launcher has been scouted. The question is the SMD going to be loaded in time? While looking at this, I'd say that Terminator is probably focusing on that. As long as he's not stalling mass, he will be okay, but he is stalling mass, which means that he's going to build incredibly slowly. He's stalling mass. Do not stall mass. We're going to pair this over to Sam, who is only stalling really hard actually. He's stalling even worse, which means that's going to take even longer to load. So nope, no nukes or anti-nukes are going to be loaded anytime soon. Checking out this direction, has there been an SMD slapped up ahead? No, yes there has. Now it's actually already loaded and about to have a second missile in there, so he is fine and working on a Duke. T3 artillery on a 20 by 20k map. I don't think that's going to reach as far as it needs to, actually. Let's just have a check on that range. Alright, Duke's range, and no, it's not even going to reach the back of Voodoo's base. It can take out the middle, can take out this top island, but not going to get much more done. And this direction, I think there has been an ACU spot over there. Yes, there has, but up here, this is what happens when you send labs up against riptides. Absolutely nothing. The labs die horrible deaths. The riptides can just swing on in and just clean up shop. So not sure when they announced their presence. Looks like the labs came up this way, and it has been a reaction from Sam Ocker, which looks like it's going to work. Kill off the factories one by one, kill off the labs. Might need to get some more assistance down there though. Running out of these riptides. Labs do get some shots of course, so that's going to be bad for their health, but maybe now they're going to stop building. Nope, going to carry on going. But the riptides need to be careful they don't just focus on the factories instead of the units. This direction, Navy's trying to do Navy things. The Torrent once again lobbing its shells over. There's a battleship very uselessly saying, well, it's having around the ground, fuck the ground actually. It's decided it does not like that cliff and it is going to shoot it over and over until the cliff is doomed. The problem is the cliff is never going to be doomed. Ever. It's static. It's not moving. How's that nuke going? Well, very slowly. Like a few more solaces out. There we go. That's going to be a dead Torrent in one part. Not one blast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 5 solaces. I suspect there's going to be one pass destruction. What the hell, just to spear off that thing. Kaboom. 5 solaces. 1 Torrent. No more Torrent. Here comes some drops though. Terminate over some drops. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. TT transports very full, but he's got anti-air all over the place. That seems like a very poor move, although there's one spot that doesn't have anti-air. It's over here, and that is where the drops come on in now. Desperately going to need some kind of ground forces to take care of those. Maybe slap down some emergency T1 point defense over here. There's a Mantis rolling on up. Where are the... There we go. There's some Blazers doing their thing. Solus is still romping around trying to do their work, but hello, kaboom! That was an Ambassador Snipe T3 strap bomb was slapping down on Sam Ocker, who was exposed over here, not under a shield, not in the water or anything. Maybe he was thinking about moving his comm up to try and help take care of this, but now it is just voodoo. Blazers are up here going to try and take care of the Mantis Menace, but they shouldn't take too long actually. There's lots of Mantis around, but they're trying to focus on the... Looks like they're trying to focus on the TMD, which is probably not the best thing. Maybe they should have focused on the power generator. But there's a lot of people shooting the ground here. A lot of people shooting the ground. The ground is just your absolute enemy. Kill the ground, kill the ground. But it ain't gonna work there. Right, speaking of pushes though, over in this direction, this is a lot coming in towards Chizza. He's got a battleship, he's got some cruisers. Does he have shield boats in there? I do not see any. Shield boats would have been a great idea. That would have absorbed a whole lot of those torpedoes, and instead he loses a bunch of cruisers, but that is coming right up into Chizza's base, but he has a whole host of torpedo bombers. Look at these guys all over the place. They're going to be problematic. Can they kill the SMD? That's probably the big question, but it doesn't matter because this one's loaded and it is much closer to the nuke, which denies a whole lot of that radius. And in fact, the nuke got handed over, so it's restarted this building. Not great. Up in this direction, there was a battleship which came into close quarters with Voodoo's base. He does have T3 here, working on his own battleship. Now the Omen is starting to walk away. He's got support from a couple of destroyers, but decides that maybe he doesn't want to be there. Let's see, the problem is, hello, please tell me that is not Terminator in his combat was. That was very, very risky, very close to these cruisers and rather close to these SAMs as well. If he'd been spotted, he would have a terrible, terrible time of it. But instead, he's got T2 on that commander. Going to go for a walk up here and maybe think about throwing down a factory or some point defense, trying to get an edge into that island once again. But Terminator, no. Control K? Doesn't seem right. Maybe he had to go. Maybe he just wanted to get his commander out of there. Indeed, stuff's been handed over to Burning Firefly, and he goes pop. Sorry, when I first saw this replay back, I thought perhaps his transport had been picked off by the cruisers, but that is indeed not what has happened. Seems like he actually got off, and then it dies over there. So a couple of kills by that aircraft carrier in the wrong position to try and defend against a bunch of cruisers. But what is going on over here? The ships are right up in the bay. This is Chizza. He's underwater, and he's actually losing health pretty fast. Question is there enough? There's some still got some subs in there, and that's actually Chizza in the bay. He was going for teleporters. Interesting choice, but caught underwater. Maybe he wanted to get out of there, trying to keep things alive, but it is done so. He's now got Navy off the coast. There's a battleship over here, of course, so they can start hammering all sorts of things over here. Yerfmeister cancels his teleporter. Just control case. Yeah, he'd given up a while ago. But now it is down to the two highest rated players on the game. It is Voodoo versus Burning Firefly. We see Voodoo, of course, has units all up in the base over here, but it's mostly T1. There is a single battleship which can start hammering on all of this eco. There's some T2 artillery back here that's going to start eating away the health. Those have been put down at a good timing, and they can actually do some decent damage to that battleship, who is firing at what? Eco. Kill the eco. Why not? Exterminator keeps on going, saying kill the anti, kill the anti, kill the anti. But there's another one right there. It's loaded. Has it been scouted? No, it hasn't. They've got no idea what structure is actually there, but I can tell you right now there's an SMD there, so even if they get a nuke loaded into this and get it launching, it's not going to do much. Shields are down. I think that's power issues. So Navy in the bay of this direction. This battleship is not much longer for this world. It's taken a heap of damage, but has done a heap of damage as well. There's just infrastructure destroyed all over the place. We see cruisers are back here. They're doing their thing, trying to lob missiles over stuff. Battleship's about to go pop from these static T2RDs down there. The battle cruiser over this direction to try and kill things off. It doesn't get the HQ, or did they? Nope, it's still alive. Really wanted to kill off that HQ, but does not happen. Also at the same time, back in this direction, we see Navy is pushing up into Voodoo's base. He's going to need to try and keep things alive. There's a battleship plus a huge number of flak, so that's going to make any kind of air much less effective. Flak being exceptionally irritating, but of course flak can do nothing against Navy. So some frigates can just come up and waste those guys pretty simply. Over this direction, we see turrets are doing their turret thing again, but there's still a large number of volcanoes in play. They should be fine. Shields up, that nuke is almost completed, but there's nothing to go for. This SMD right here denies basically all that kind of thing, so he could nuke there, he could nuke there, but on the angle of it, he cannot get to any, he could maybe get to there. No, he can't, that's not a bad angle. So the straight line, he can basically nuke this little island, this reproduction thing here, or if he could find Burning Firefly's comm, he could nuke that. Of course, he's got no radar going that far, so he's got no idea whereabouts it is. Just a bunch of torpedo bombers, and you can see what we mean about the flak. It is just going to murder them in droves, doing absolute bunches of damage. This turret's going to have a bad time, although they're only just T2. It might take a few more passes before they actually take it out. Alright, nuke is just about done. The question is, have they scouted this SMD? And the answer is a resounding no. Absolute resounding no. In fact, there's no point sending it back here either, because this SMD lived and it's got 2 missiles loaded to its name. This might not be an awful target. It's got a bit of production up this way. In fact, a lot of production up this way. And the volcanoes are gradually getting overwhelmed. I think there might be an occasional missile getting through. But no, they are doing the job. They are doing the job. Over here we have a pair of battleships. They're up against a single battleship. Not going to go well for a single battleship, especially when a third battleship joins in. And that is going to be all she wrote for that guy, especially as he's firing in the wrong direction. Right, nuke is loaded. Going to see where that goes in a moment. Up this direction, there's been a rebuild of the air grid. No rebuild. Oh, yes, there is. There's T3HQ, got some assistance on that, but I don't think that's where his main focus is anymore. His focus is on the Navy and getting that nuke loaded, which it is. The question is, where is it going to nuke? Is there going to be a mass scout coming out? Down the bottom section we see Navy coming in here from Burning Firefly as well. He's got some more coming through. Looks like a plan to get some land movement on here. Just maybe destruction, but these broadswords are going to deny that pretty darn quickly. In fact, never mind the broadswords, there's some destroyers flying overhead. Engineers are dead. Factory is not completed. And that's all she wrote for that section of the map. We're here still seeing... Oh, there we go. Torpedo bombers are now out in abundance for Burning Firefly compared to how it was before. Burning Firefly now owns the skies, like literally owns the skies. He has all the assets. Voodoo has no air. Probably after that attack that happened up here, which killed off the air grid. He's been trying to rebuild that for a while. He's still just got the single factory. Maybe wants to think about popping some more down, but that will be up to him. Focus is very much on the Navy for him, I feel. He needs to maybe focus that. I would say he's got 3 battleships now. Very handy indeed. And they can take care of a lot of all that. Right, still trying to get those turrets through, and they're still not managing it. There's resistance on this factory here, just popping out some killers, and Exterminator hunts his free kill. I don't know if he spotted something, but I don't think it's a free kill. That is very much alive. The Duke is very much alive, and once that gets up, it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a map denial for this. Like 3/4 of the map. Of course, I can't reach all the way back here, but that's going to be a problem to try and deal with. The nuke is loaded, still hasn't launched it, still maybe trying to find a target. And T2 artillery over here, that's going to be a pain in the buttocks. There we go, it's launching its shells over here, murdering off that. Torrents are still trying to do the thing, but it seems like this is a critical number of volcanoes because they're not getting through. Maybe a couple of bombers would be an ideal thing to take out some of these, and then suddenly the turrets would be a lot more effective, but they just simply aren't. The battleships here, they are doing good work. They are killing off all the forces up this way. Quite delighting the Navy up the top here is Firefly, but there we go. Here's the nuke. Where's it going for? Is it going for the back? No, it should be going for the back. That's not going to work. Where's it going? It is going straight over this SMD. In fact, it was going to nuke this area, but of course that SMD is right there. There's the kaboom. There's the kaboom. There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom once that nuke lands, but it did not because of this. Right there. There's a nuke defense. Now the ping is up. And now it's been scouted. And, well, scouted a bit late. Wanted to get that known before you launch the nuke. Bad times. Alright. 4 battleships up here plus support. That is going to be a very tough nut to crack. Is going to murder everything that comes in this direction, but that's not the problem because it is coming from this angle. We see the Navy is coming out the bottom left hand side instead of the right, which is where all of Voodoo's forces are, so they need to get their way back here. A couple of battleships are in position, of course. He's just popping off the production line. Another one has come back to assist. There is a destroyer doing its thing. In fact, that's a destroyer, so he's got Aeon Tech as well somewhere. Where did he grab that? Sorry, I'm just looking. These are all UF based Navy. Do not see, but hello, a swarm of torpedo bombers are up the top here. They're just going to be picking off the mass extractors around the extremities. Oh, there's the Aeon Navy, all good. So 2 battleships here should be alright. They should be able to do some damage. This one is protecting that T3HQ, cannot afford to lose it. And indeed that is gonna go badly if he does. Some support is coming over, the shield boat rocking on up, got some destroyers moving on over. This battleship's doing his thing, and they definitely going for the HQ, so this guy has to stay there to be all shieldy, but that is going to be fine. Plenty of support is now here. The destroyer is going to go down, the battleship's going to go down, and it retained his T3HQ if it wasn't for the torpedo bombers coming in the other direction. That's a lot of torpedo bombers, a lot of them, and there's a lot of damage. There was a shield boat nearby. I thought I saw some shields flicker, but it has moved out of range, and this way cruisers are going to take things out. HQ's going to be fine. Except there's another swarm of torpedo bombers coming, and they need to get that shield boat over this to stop it dying. Well, let's get these engineers on a repair instead of assist. More torpedo bombers, but cruisers down here are doing their thing. Naval HQ just keeps continually coming on back in this direction. Navy is pushing up through here from Voodoo. It's going to say hello and try and take things out over there. The HQ is down into the yellow, but they've run out of torpedo bombers. No more coming in on the trajectory. The battleship down here is looking particularly unhealthy. This battleship has done a great job of being an actual physical meat shield of the HQ, taking a bunch of damage, leaking some of the shots, and this omen is done for. Go back down in the middle, and well, the nuke is gone. Whether that was reclaimed or it actually died is a good question. Either way, it is no more. I don't see the engineers though, so maybe it was a... I saw that. It's the T3RD. It is the T3RD that was completed down here. It has decided to take the nuke out of the equation. The shots have landed, and they have turned this into nothingness, because yeah, he would reclaim the mass extractor. Not a chance. That is out of the game. Now the Duke is going for the T3 HQ, because why not get that out of the game? You remove T3 Aeon Air from the situation, which is a good idea. There it goes. A land in the pop. Job is done. Battleships up here, though, they are starting to romp through this section. There's not much in the water to slow them down. I feel like that Voodoo very much controls the Navy game. Doesn't control the air game at all, though. I very much see this large number of ASFs there compared to the... well, it's not too bad. Sorry, I missed all these in the middle here. I was just looking at the back. Still, the air game is very much in favour of Burning Firefly at this stage. He has more ASFs, though his production is looking like a lot of torpedo bombers. A lot of torpedo bombers. Right, this Navy needs to keep moving. Going to just keep moving up in this direction. It could just sweep on through and destroy a whole lot of stuff over here, but here comes the Torp Swarm. The question is, do we have cruisers? We do. We have 1, 2, 3 cruisers. We have a shield boat coming on over. That's going to be turning up in the nick of time if its shields were online, but they're not. Don't see the bubble moving with it at all, and no, indeed, that has no shield on at all. The regen is happening, but the question is, will it regen in time to save the cruisers? No, the cruisers are primaried by the torpedo bombers. The shield boat is still no go, and that is now going to be a free kill for these torpedo bombers if it wasn't for the ASFs coming in. But Burning Firefly sending his own Air Force in, and that is now a problem for this Navy. They just basically have to try and shuffle on as fast as possible to get as much damage done before they get taken out. Voodoo sending in the rest of his ASFs, but these are just going to be swamped by Burning Firefly's air. Yeah. No chance there. The ASFs are not even going to get a single pass. They do try and maybe engage in an air battle, but they don't. They just get screamed into nothingness. And now Firefly has the air game completely under his command. So now Voodoo is going to be forced to include shields and cruisers in the mix with his battleships. They're just going to get picked apart at this stage. Things like this. A nice full health shield boat. Get some cruisers up. I don't know what the ratio would be, but he's got some cruisers back here, got a shield boat back there, going to start picking off those torpedo bombers. Needs to. Alright, what is his game plan back here? At the moment, not seeing a lot. He's got a bunch of power up. He's got T3 Navy, of course, well underway. That's nice and healthily ripped up. And there we go. Looks like it is cruisers and shield boats galore with a whole bunch of frigates as distractions. So there we go. This one looks like it's doing 1 cruiser to 1 shield boat mixture. This one actually has a destroyer coming out of this as well. The rest are frigates. It looks like just cruisers from this one. And of course just battleships from the HQ. Alright. And they need to. Cruisers are trying to get some work done down here. The torpedo bombers are getting hammered from these guys, but there's so many of them. Absolutely so many of them. Each time he thinks he's got a handle on it, more turn up. And have a look at this giant air swarm. Firefly knows he has the air game at the moment, and he is pumping out nothing but torpedo bombers. Still getting a few ACFs out there, because just, you know, might as well keep that going. Has finished himself a T3 Navy HQ in the bay. Not looking too good on that front. Alright, in the midsection though, still got... Oh, we've got renegades now, so not only do we have torpedo bombers, we've got renegades doing the thing as well. Cruisers really trying to get work done, but now the Navy turns up here from Firefly as well. That's going to start slamming shots over here. These cruisers are under threat from everything. Torpedo bombers, Navy, gunships, they're just straight up not having a good time. Straight up not having a good time. Alrighty, the question is, what is next? What is next? Well, Voodoo's under the water. He's got himself a nice handy shield there. He's going to be tough to kill even with a large number of torpedo bombers. But no, it's just much T1 torpedo defense up there. It's largely been ignored, so I imagine it was put there by the previous occupant of that slaughter exterminator hunt, trying to get some kind of survivability in play, but it did not help him. Last cruiser over here is getting picked on by some destroyers, not great for its health. Trying to run away, but it's going to get crimped out. Nope, might actually make it. Some supporting shields coming back, some flaking moving up, some ascendants, so Voodoo's now doing what Burning Firefly did before, including some shields and flak in with this mixture, so that these torpedo bombers have a bad time. They're moving away this direction, not a great idea. There's some SAMs just waiting to hungrily scoop them out of the sky. Yep, that's a very large loss. In fact, I think that's everything. So I'm going to get blapped. Nope, one torpedo bomber gets through from that big swarm, moving down this direction. I see. It was a command for all of the torpedo bombers to move in this direction, and he has a lot of torpedo bombers. He has a lot. D3 torpedo bombers, and there's also additional 10. No, there's still D2. So he's got around 60, 70 torpedo bombers. There's just more coming all the time from this group. And they have a target in mind, I would imagine. Well, they have been seen on the radar, so Voodoo knows they're coming, but I don't think he can do anything about it. I imagine the target is either going to be the ACU or the T3 HQ. I feel like either of these targets will actually be worthwhile. If he kills T3 HQ, then well, that's going to be it's going to be Voodoo out of the Navy till he manages to rebuild and upgrade another one, because that is his only HQ. Right. We see our boys. They are on the way. We see two battleships down this direction. They are on the way. A threat on that way. Over here we see this guy is trying to get up a SAM in the face of T2 Navy. That's not going to work. Not sure. I mean, I guess he wanted to protect from some torpedo bombers, but doesn't really help. Right, T3 artillery is still picking its way through the middle base. There's not a heck of a lot of things left there, but there's some engineers doing some reclaim. Going to grab up some of the mass. Alright, first glut of torpedo bombers coming for the T2 HQ down here. Why not kill the HQ, get rid of the production? Looks like they should get a second and probably third pass. There's some cruisers around here, but actually some of the SAMs do pick a bunch of those guys out. There's not much else to stop them. There we go, the torpedo bombers have gone for the HQ, but the first wave of their torps actually impacted against the battleship that was under construction, but they swing around for a second run, and now they can start doing some damage to it. But in the water is Voodoo right there. They could have just picked on him straight away. They had enough of them, but the T3 HQ taking more damage. So is the battleship. It's surviving for now. Got a bulwark shield boat is popped off the production line. Someone going to help that out. And Voodoo is now getting targeted. There we go. The torpedo bombers have switched up to target him directly, losing out on health. The shield is dropping. He decides, no, I've had enough. I'm not going to keep standing here. My shield is running out, and that is well advised because he needs to get out of the water. Those torpedo bombers were having a grand old time against him. Trying to finish off the SAM with some engineers instead. Gets out of the water, but down goes... Oh no, the HQ is okay. It's under repair. The battleship goes down. That's what took the damage. That's what exploded. And the cruisers are finally getting some work done. The torpedo bombers are swinging them back in though on a good run. That HQ is looking less and less healthy as time goes on. Losing a bunch of ships. Losing engineers back into the green though. And the SAM has been completed. That's going to take out some of these guys quite happily. But here come the battleships from this direction, and Voodoo has only brought back cruisers to defend against the torpedo bombers that have been overhead, but the battleships are here and they could storm on in and start doing some damage. There's no navy around that can slow them off. The rest of Voodoo's navy is over here. It's all tied up fighting off these battleships over there. He's got these two coming back. He's trying to start a Tempest at the back. Single Rascom is building that. It's going to take a while to get through, but this is going to be the problem. Although he does, battleships do have TMD on them, AO battleships, they're still going to be cautious about that large number of attack missiles coming on in. And Voodoo's comm is walking into the water. Put up another SAM by the look of it. Naval HQ is fine. Needs to switch these away from the repair to the assist. A whole bunch of these are just on the repair slot to make life like that. Okay. Holding on is Voodoo. Question is, how much more can he hold on? Worthy has a Tempest. Of course, he's trying to get it up, but it's going to take a while. It's only like, what's that? 1/6 done, 1/8 done sort of thing, and he's got Navy parking on in, and they're going to get here and start doing some extra damage to that. It is not going to complete at this rate. Voodoo happy to consolidate his forces back into the middle of his base. He cannot afford to lose that T3 HQ. I mean, at the same time, he can't afford to lose his commander, but he's right up the front there, building up a T2 torpedo launcher. I feel like that's a distraction at best. I mean, it just gets outranged by anything, T2 and T3. No dice on that front. Over here we see the Navy is creeping on up from Burning Firefly. He is getting absolutely pinned in here. Voodoo just absolutely under the cosh, and he's lost the Tempest. No surprise, he has those. Okay. There's a Cyber Navy coming in, some Salems, and they can just sprout some legs and go for a walk. They can take out some of this eco all the way back here. Some very exposed and ready to die T3 PGens. Also got this PGen here, which is going to have a bad time. We have the Quantum Gateway, which could be targeted. See how things are going to go on, but Raz comes up and starts shooting this guy. Actually gets hammered by a battleship over here, but this is not great for your health. Going to lose some PGens back on that front. And I think this might be it for Voodoo. They're pushing us from every direction. I don't think he can just quite contend with. We see a swarm of these torpedo bombers coming in this direction again. Voodoo's up front with his comm, a little bit far away from his air support, but there are some shield boats over this, which is going to assist in keeping those cruisers alive for now. But more Navy coming in this direction. Got a few battleships over this direction. That way we've got some destroyers rocking in this way here. Got some battleships trying to defend, but he's lost one PGen there. Got another few, shouldn't be too far away. This one's just about dead actually. Reclaim or repair is the call on that. Gonna lose this destroyer here though. Throwing up some oblivions, and not gonna get a lot done. There goes the final shots onto this one. It explodes. And that's another T3 PGen down for Voodoo. Where is Voodoo's comm? Voodoo's comm still up in front here. Has he been noticed? No, he hasn't. Torpedo bombers aren't going for him just yet. There's still some cruisers around. There's still some anti-air around, but he's way out from any kind of defensive positioning for his commander. And there's so much assistance on here. He's really down into the last little section, what, 9th of the map? Probably don't really count these sections, just a few SAMs loitering around and that kind of thing. So the last little corner of the map is where Voodoo is, and I don't think he's got anything to get out of here. I'm not seeing a game leader, I don't see a nuke, I don't see an arty. I see some Rascom, so he's got a bit of eco out of those guys, but there is Navy in his bay. There's a lot of Navy in his bay. That is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battleships plus destroyer support, and they are promptly obliterating anything they can get their shots to land on. They're being defended against by a couple of battleships up there, 2 more down here, so the odds are kind of even if it wasn't for the destroyer support that Burning Firefly currently has. And where is the next air attack? Well, no, he's not gone for the air attack. He's switched up to full-on Navy. We see another large number of destroyers. We see more battleships come through here. We see more rocking up this way. Absolutely owns the skies, and some broadswords. Well, that's an interesting choice, broadswords it is, but there we go. That... what was that? Must have been a Rascom. I thought for a moment that was Voodoo, but no, that must have been a Rascom, because Voodoo's still standing there quite happily with his commander. Shields are regenerating absolutely fine, but look at this. Just more and more Navy pouring in. Soon Voodoo's going to run out of willpower. His factory's going to stop. His engineer's going to die. It's going to lose the HQ, and I feel like any one of these is... I think this is the tipping point. He's held out for such a long time. Such a long time trying to keep himself in the game, trying to keep himself alive and fighting. He's done absolutely brilliantly, but the nuke. If only they'd scouted that SMD a little bit earlier, might have been more effective, but here we go. Look at just this poor summit is just getting absolutely slammed. So much navy in front of it. Just battered, hammered and destroyed by all this fire coming in, destroyers, battleships, everything. Not good for your health, and now it is the turn of the HQ over there. Just volley after volley of this fire. A bulwark shield ship does pop off, tries to soak up some damage, doesn't take very long, and this is fire now landing directly onto the HQ. It's not going to last long under that kind of pressure. And indeed, some battleships, very unhealthy battleships that must be said. They won't be too long for this war as well. Have a look at this hammering they're getting. And now the HQ is going to go down. Voodoo's right there with his comm. Not much he can do about this. Some portals over there. He's not going to die to them. Massive effort from Voodoo, but he throws out the GG. He did everything he could, but in the end, loses his HQ. Warthog's doing their thing. He's going to lose basically all of this as well. Some ASFs are there, but some ASFs are up there from Firefly as well. They can just come and sweep that out. And that will be all she wrote for Voodoo. Still in the water for the moment. Destroyers coming over. Bit of ground time and start tipping away with those torpedoes as they have. That was a ground fire, wasn't it? I think that was a ground fire from those guys. Trying to run away onto the beach. It's not going to be good for his health. Those destroyers can then bring their main cannons to bear. The broadswords can sweep on back. And final act of defiance. Fighter just takes a couple of shots at some destroyers. Any moment now they're going to switch up to him though. There's a massive volley. Goodbye to the shield. Almost in one volley. Portals overhead, everything going. There we go. That's going to be Voodoo. Well played, Voodoo. Fought for a long time, but better played to Team 2. Burning Firefly gets the eventual final killing Voodoo. And there we have it.